Hello, I'm Wonder Woman, and I'm applying for the job as President of the United States. After all, that's what I'm doing, applying for a job where I am more than essentially working for you, the people, and not the other way around. Not for my personal self-interests, but for the interests of the American people. Despite what the President may think, it's not just about beating him as though he were some implacable foe. I've fought implacable foes, and our President hardly qualifies as a war god or a cosmic alien despot. No, it's not about him. It was never about him. He's just a speck in a moment of time that will flow on past him into insignificance. Further insignificance. It's more about confronting and beating what he embodies, a condition that has existed in man from this point back into ancient antiquity. Fear-based behavior, the fear of appearing weak or foolish or powerless. This fear makes people weak in will, weak in the ability for proper accountability, proper introspection, and self-analysis. In short, it makes them strong in their weakness. You would think, as old as this world is, we would have evolved into wiser beings to see past these folks I refer to as the abyssal elite, so named because their self-esteem is achieved not from within, but from without, from the adulation of others. Even with this constant outside reinforcement, there is no satisfaction for them. Their needs are bottomless. I'm also running because it's time you had a woman for president. I've always been baffled by the fact that you haven't had one yet. It's not as though gender precludes one from being president. The idea of women being the fairer sex is ridiculous. Our strength has been evident for millennia. We give birth, which is a major feat of strength in and of itself. We nurture and raise the males who, in turn, become the leaders of the world. And yet we are callously cast aside when it comes to such a major leadership role. Why? Oh, right. You think we get too emotional. Well, you'd get emotional too when you've been marginalized your entire life. I've seen my sisters speak to men, and it's as if they're pleading the case of their souls to a vacuum. This must stop. The marginalization must stop, not just for women, but for all people. Minorities, poor, black, Hispanic, gay. Oh yes, the LGBTQ community especially. I come from an island where, for thousands of years, there were no men. A race of warrior women, not monastic monks sworn to any vow of celibacy. Think about that for a moment, won't you? I'll give you a moment. This world has a multitude of religions in it, and I'll be damned if I'll let one of them hold sway over who or what one loves. And if you can't handle the fact that someone is gay, well, then stop interfering with such prurient thoughts, and think on them as tax-paying citizens who, like yourselves, pay into a system that does not always reflect their needs. But pay they do. Here's another right I want to fight for. I believe that life begins not with a heartbeat, but before that. But I will never take away a sister's right to decide, to choose what she should do with her body. That men should tell a woman what she should do with her body. I've heard some say that if a woman legislated public castrations as a birth control alternative, men would be in an uproar. Mind you, the only man that I know who would voluntarily submit to the process is bulletproof, so good luck with that. So, in closing, should I be so lucky to find myself in debate with the President, I promise you I will show integrity, I will show honor, and I will hold him accountable with this. I will ring this bell every time he lies, and believe me, I'll know. And I will ring this bell every time he is unnecessarily rude or petty. I suspect that it'll sound like everyone has ringing of the ears by the end of it, but it must be done. Think of this as a clarion bell for all of the abyssal elitists of the world. I thank you for your time.